Hello, everyone. Welcome to CandyK's Compassion Chronicles. I hope all my divine souls out there are blessed and highly favored. Thank everyone for joining. It's been a long time, you guys, for me to get this podcast going because, first of all, I have a lot of things going on. And there's been a lot of people that don't want me to speak out, you guys. And, it's crazy because every time, I try to, create this podcast, start speaking, it was always like some blockages and delays. So, everybody, forgive me for the delayed podcast. But I am here, I am ready, and I am going to be speaking about my spiritual healing journey with God. Because without God, you guys, let me tell you, I would not be where I am at currently now. And, I thank him and I am ever so grateful for his love for me, his guidance, his healing, everything that he has done for me. And, and I want to, speak upon this because people don't understand the importance of going through your spiritual healing journey. And my spiritual healing journey story, is so eccentric, you guys, my spiritual healing journey and everything that I had to overcome, the obstacles, the people, the spiritual warfare that I had to endure. And, and it's, by the grace of God that I am still here and I am able to speak about, my story and share my story. And some of you guys have, know me because, I've been posting a lot of spiritual healing video content, motivational content to get you guys um, onto your spiritual healing journeys to become your best self. And this is why I have also created my exclusive members only uh, podcast and a mentorship program because, I want people to be able to, heal themselves, heal their mind, body, and souls with God's guidance. And, of course, with me, I'm going to, be giving you guys some, intimate details, about my story, when I speak with some of you guys that are members and, some of my members know me very well. I have members, people that know me on and offline. So, and some people know my story, some people don't know my story. So, this is why I'm here. I am here to, share those details. And you guys, some of the details that I have in regards to my spiritual healing journey, um, a lot of people did not want me, they don't want me to speak out, you guys. These people have done everything in their power um, for me not to speak out. But, you know, when you almost lose your life and God saved you, there's, what is it called? No bars hold. There's nothing that can come against you. I'm going to put it that way. Nothing can come against you because God saved you. So nothing anyone says, nothing what the devil tries to do to block you, to stop you, to silence you. There's nothing no one can do because God healed you. God saved you for a reason. So he brought you out of that near death experience, to become spiritually healed with him and to turn to him and to become your greatest best self as he deemed you to be in this lifetime. So people don't understand how important it is, to focus on yourself, focus on your connection, with God, or, whoever your higher power may be, to bring you out of the darkness. Because, I, guys, I didn't know how I was going to get out of the situation that I found myself in. And, I'm going to be going into the details, you guys. I'm really going to dive deep. And, I'm telling you guys, my story, it involves a lot of high power professional people. And that, they didn't know my intelligence. Um, they didn't know that I had God and a whole bunch of my angelic warriors behind me. They didn't know. And so God was showing me things. He was leading me places, and it was so phenomenal because I never knew none of this existed because I was in the dark, like many of you guys are. You guys, a lot of you guys are walking in darkness. You're walking in evil. Um, you're around evil people. You're around manipulators. You're around narcissists. And these people, once you connect with God, He will show you who these people are. And then, once you connect to God, God also will take care of those people for you. But you have to get connected with God, and you have to go through your spiritual healing journey process. Because if you don't, you are going to remain in darkness. Your life is not going to be fulfilled. Anything that you do in your life will not be fulfilled. I hope the music isn't too loud. I have my jazz going on, you guys. So anyway, you won't be fulfilled in anything that you try to do because you haven't healed your inner soul. You haven't healed your mind. You haven't healed your body. You haven't cleansed, the negativity out of your life. You keep feeding into the darkness. And so, this is why it's important to go through your spiritual healing journey process. And I am going to be assisting a lot of you guys who are serious. If you're not serious about changing your life, transforming your life, you know, that's fine. You have free will, but don't expect things to go the way that you think they're going to go in your life. If you walk with the devil's going to walk with you, and then at some point the devil, is going to destroy your life because you know you prefer to walk with the devil than to walk with God in his kingdom. Because at the end of the day, this is God's kingdom. This is not the devil's kingdom. This is God's kingdom. So you walk in God's light, or you walk in darkness with the devil, okay? And everything attached to the devil. And, unfortunately, you guys, and I didn't know any of this until, God woke me up. I went through my spiritual awakening. I, went through my dark night of the soul, and you'll learn all these terms and all of that. And we'll discuss all of that in my podcast, um, you know, over time. But once I went through all of that, God will show you, who these evil demons are. And so, as a commercial kind of came on, guys, he will show you who these evil demons are, and he will reveal to you, who you need, who. When you go, I'm going to tell you this: when you go through your spiritual healing journey, it's a process, and God will set you apart alone, so you can connect only to Him. And that's what He wants. He wants you to connect to Him, Jesus Christ, your angels. He wants you to connect to the divine. And so He can guide you properly and allow you to see the things that you didn't see walking in the darkness. So this is why it's important. that you go through your spiritual healing journey and transform your life. You will become a new person that people don't even know anymore. And that's, the goal that God wants you to be in, because at the end of the day, he created you before you were in your mother's womb. Okay? He didn't create you to be out here walking in darkness. No, he did not. So when you go on your spiritual healing journey, as I did, it was just it's a phenomenal experience, you guys. And I just want to elaborate on my story. And some of you have seen out there where I share a portion of my story, um, how I turned my pain and trauma into my power. Now I'm standing into my power. But before all of that, I always had power. I always knew that there was some things inside of me that were special. I didn't want to, I don't want to toot my own horn, but it is what it is. When you're chosen, you're chosen. Okay, God chose me for a reason, and He chose me, with the royal lineage. So I'm blessed, to be chosen by God, and He loved me enough to, you know, lead me upon my spiritual healing journey. So with that said, it's important to join and become a member of Compassion Chronicles, you guys, because I'm not out here, just looking, for money. I'm out here to change people's lives, as God changed my life. And like I said, if you're serious, please be a member. If you're not serious, don't waste my time, and I won't waste your time, because life is too short. People are out here wasting people's times. I don't have time for people that are manipulators, narcissists, not serious about moving forward in life, want to continue to stay stuck in the same situations, not wanting to heal their mind, body, and soul. I don't have time for people like that. So it's up to you. It's your own free will. But I also am going to be, diving into, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, you guys. I've been toying with, how I'm going to do this, because when you're very knowledgeable, like myself, and when you get divine guidance about things that most people, don't see. I'm a truth seeker. I'm a seer. I can see things that other people can't see. God just kind of shows, puts it in front of my face. Okay. And so when God puts things in front of my face, I'm like, oh, okay. Some of the things that I have seen, some of the things that, I'm a researcher. Oh, let me tell you guys a little bit about me, real quick. I should have started off with that, but because it's to me, you guys, it's not about titles or anything like that, because we are all human beings living, a life experience, and we didn't come out our mother's womb with all of these titles. You can have all the titles in the world, but if you are walking in a demonic spirit, those titles don't mean a hill of beans. Okay, because you are using, your title to harm others. And that is walking in a demonic spirit. That is not walking in God's spirit. God's spirits and his children walk in God's light. So I don't, really, do these title things, but some people be like, oh, who is she? Who are, who does she think she is? How can she teach us? Well, I've lived it. Okay. I have lived a long life. Put it like that. I am seasoned. Okay. On many, many, many topics. If you speak it, I probably have dealt with it or know someone that has dealt with it. Because, I have a lot of people, that, I know a lot of people, put it like that. But I I'm focused on people healing. I'm focused on God's kingdom healing. That's what I'm focused on. I don't have time for drama. I don't have time for, talking about other people. I don't have time to be trying to destroy somebody else's life because of jealousy, envy, hatred, which, a lot of those people are mentally unstable because those people that are, driven by jealousy, hatred, envy, you know, they don't understand that they too can heal. They can get out of that. Okay, but God's children, we're focused on creating our creativity, helping others elevate, helping others heal. We're walking in the light. We're not out here trying to destroy anyone because everybody has free will. And at the end of the day, it's not that individual that you have to, that you're trying to destroy. It's not, that individual you have to worry about. You have to worry about what God is, his wrath, and what he is about to bring onto your life when you're trying to destroy someone else. God is going to turn around and release you, okay, and he is not going to help you with anything and basically let the devil take control over you and destroy your life. And that could be in any form of sickness, uh, financial disparities, anything that God sees fit, to harm your life because you were trying to harm somebody else's life, for no reason. And so God, is you know, the spirit that you have to worry about, not that individual that you're trying to destroy. And God will reveal, and I'm gonna tell you guys, God has a whole team. He has a whole team, okay, that is watching, okay, who's walking in the light and who's walking in the dark, okay? And God will protect his children that are walking in the light from those who are walking in the dark. And those who are walking in the dark and have done things to people that they shouldn't have done, okay, when these people, God's children, were out here minding their business, living their lives, creating, walking in God's light, out here helping others and healing others, you know, and those are the individuals, God's children. That's who God is going to protect, okay, because they are on their life purpose mission, okay, that they agreed to with God. Now those who are not out here on their a life purpose mission, okay, guided by God, those are the people that are going to walking in the dark, and God is not going to bless those individuals. So for you people out there walking in the dark, you better tread very, very, very lightly. And some of you guys, I'm going to just be honest, it's too late. Your karma is here. God is playing no more games with a lot of people. All this, backstabbing, these slander, these lies, these cover-ups, the manipulation, all of this stuff is being exposed. Okay? And a lot of you guys, let me tell you guys, I'm going to be talking about a lot of this stuff because these people have tried to come at me at every way possible. Okay? Even on social media. I don't even know you guys really. That's why I had to create my own platform, specifically because I have been targeted on YouTube. I've been targeted on all TikTok. I've been targeted on X. You guys, I have been targeted on all my social media platforms. These people keep, you know, I don't know who these. Well, I know. Well, I'm gonna say I know who these people are, but I'm going to be getting into details about who these people are that continuously go after me. Okay, because they don't want me exposing what I uncovered, what they have been doing in the darkness. Okay, and I'm going to be exposing it all, whether they like it or not, because my story can help heal humanity. And that's why I'm a humanitarian consultant, FYI, and a public figure. prior political candidate. I was a prior political candidate. I was out here talking to, a lot of people. I'm a homeless women's advocate. I was homeless after medical trauma that attacked my internal organs, and I ended up homeless. So I was out there, speaking to a lot of homeless women, trying to help them. So I was doing, I've been around you guys. Okay, I've been in abusive relationships. I've been, I just been, a lot of people just, yeah, I done been through a lot. Put it like that. Okay, but guess what? I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They didn't want me standing, y'all. They did not want me standing. So, but I'm still standing. And there's nothing that they can do because God wants me to continue to stand. So, anyway, you guys, so I am going to be sharing a lot of information. These people did not want me to share, but I am going to be sharing it whether they like it or not because it's destined by God that I speak truth and I'm going to be speaking truth. So, and the people that I'm pretty sure that are going to be listening to this, I'm putting, you guys on notice. God said it is time for me to speak out. Okay. And I have already spoken out. These people tried to bury my information. Okay. They tried to bury my social media posts, you guys. They have tried to do everything in their power not for me to speak out because they know that I know. Okay. They know that I am smarter than the average bear. They know that I'm knowledgeable. Okay. And these people, stem from, some high powerful people and they do not want me. They want me to shut up and it's not going to happen. Okay. I am a warrior of God. You cannot knock down a warrior of God that God took out of a near death experience. Are you kidding me? And, and I want to say this and shame on these people out here. Okay. How can you try to attack someone that almost lost their life? Okay. And God saved them. Okay. You guys are just, evil people, but that is not for me to deal with. That I put that and those type of people in God's hands. I let God deal with them because at the end of the day, when you leave this earth, you're going, either two places, okay, heaven or hell. Okay. And, that's between you and God. That individual you tried to attack or harm or, whatever you tried to do to that individual. Okay. God sees all. He saw what you did. He knows what you've been doing behind the scenes. So you can try to hide it all you want. Okay. Uh, uh, Man or female in the physical realm may not, you might be able to hide it from them, but you can't hide anything from God. So be mindful of that. God sees everything that you try to be, you try to do behind the scenes. So, don't get it twisted out here. So with that said, you guys, I am going to be I'm going to try to do these podcasts as much as I can. Like I said, I have a lot going on, um, out here. And, going through your spiritual healing journey, it's a process, it's ongoing, so I'm still, working on some things in my life, but God is calling me to be the leader that I am. And I know I'm a leader, and I have proved over time, over the years, years and years and years, that people tried to destroy my leadership skills. They wanted me not to use my leadership skills, but God said, no, I am going to heal you, my child, and you are going to lead these people, those that, want to learn spiritual healing. You're going to lead them into their greater purpose. So that is what I am here for. I am listening to God's guidance. That's all I do. I don't listen to anybody else but God's guidance for what He wants me to be and what He wants me to do. Whether people try to shadow ban me. They try to silence me, try to send any spiritual warfare. They, because these people out here, you guys, I didn't even know about spiritual warfare, all this voodoo, black magic, and all this other crazy nonsense these mentally unstable people do that walk in demonic energy. Okay, I didn't know anything about that, but God showed me everything. But God protects his children from all of that. So everything that they try to send, all they're doing is ruining their own lives, because whatever they try to send to a divine chosen child that God has chosen, whether it be an earth angel, light worker, you know, um, that is all returned back to them. So they can, try to do whatever they, want to do, but God is watching every single last thing that they're doing. Okay. And at the end of the day, like I said, God has the last say. So these people have no idea how serious, okay, spiritual healing is and how God is. These people have no idea. I'm telling you, when I go, deeper to my members, I'm going to tell you guys a lot of the things I experience that are, uh, I don't want to say it's paranormal, it's angelic. Some of the stuff that I've seen, I've experienced, it's angelic. And they showed me that, hey, God is real, the angels is real, okay? Humanity, the earth, everything is real. And once you're tapped in and you're healed, God will show you, and he will speak to you in ways that uh, people a lot of people can't wrap their head around this, because a lot of people, they're not there yet, okay, because they're still walking in demonic light. But those of you that are spiritually healed, you guys understand what I'm talking about. But with that said, you guys please join Candy K's Compassion Chronicles. I also have my Humanitarians network that I'm, working on some things with that as well. That is, coming together. And I also have, my fashion boutique. And let me tell you guys, I didn't have any, I didn't even know about my creativity, okay, until I went through my spiritual healing journey process with God. All my creativity came out, okay? It just all came out, okay? And so, I have a lot more building to do, because, I'm connected. And I have, that's why I'm so busy, because God got me, hopping and a popping out here. So with that said, but I am going to take time, for those who join Candy K's Compassion Chronicles. Okay, I am going to take time to help you guys. So, but it's up to you. You can either sink or swim at this point, because, you know, God is not playing anymore. And I'm not playing as well anymore with all of these people. And, and a lot of you guys, some of you guys, I told you guys, okay, I tried to, let you guys know ahead of time. Looky here, what you're doing to me is not okay. And at some point in time, okay, you're going to see why what you did to me, that I did nothing to you, will it's going to come back on to you. And I am going to share with the world. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to share my story with the world of every person, place, and thing, that they tried to take me out of here. I was already almost out of here, you guys. Here comes some more people walking in demonic energy to try to take me out again and destroy my life. Okay, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out because guess what? God was with me. So with that said, you guys, take care. Join me on weekly. I'm going to either try to do these podcasts on Tuesdays and Wednesdays every week. So join me every week. Become a member. I'm on Patreon. I'm on Buy Me a Coffee. And my website is humanitariansnetwork.com. You can sign up there, and many blessings to you all. And I pray that you are walking in God's divine heavenly light, because He is the only one that can save you. Okay, so with that said, many blessings to you all. And you guys have a blessed rest of, I can't even talk, rest of your week.